let's get into the whole warehouse situation. So, in case you guys don't know, news broke out 2 days ago, per PW Insider, that
Steve was already
TNA
laughing at this.
Impact Wrestling, everyone's
No, I'm
favorite
laughing
wrestling.
the way you just said about the time machine and shit. That was great.
Yeah, at this point, I'm sure Dixie Carter and them would wish to go up on the time machine, but that's just around the point right now.
I understand that time machine from Rugrats that sent the monkey back to this.
Yeah, so apparently the news is that apparently they're moving their headquarters from the nice location that they have in Nashville to a warehouse to where they pretty much do their ShopTNA.
Yep.
Jimmy from ShopTNA is gonna get some roommates. Is he still around?
The guy, high five, baby, high five, high five. No, he's
Oh
not
fuck,
around.
man! I can't even get on ShopTNA.com right now.
Are you serious? You can't?
No, because I was checking when my package was coming.
It's under real estate development.
I heard about that. So that's the thing. They're moving to a warehouse, and I've heard a lot of things. Apparently, the reason is because from what I've heard, one story that got shot down because apparently Meltzer said this. Apparently, they didn't pay a lease, what have you. They didn't pay a lease, or they're being evicted, right?
Yeah, I heard that story too, and it was shot down pretty fast.
They was shot down by Mike Johnson, the PW Insider, saying apparently TNA knew about this a while back, and they pretty much there's a picture out going online showing the new, I guess the warehouse, right, where it's supposed to be at, and you guys saw the picture, right? You guys seen the picture,
Yeah,
what
I
have
saw
you? So, what's your take on all this? Your thoughts?
My thoughts. It just shows TNA has some financial issues. I don't know how people can deny that, but this is a financial issue thing. If they are not able to run a base of operations at their old home, obviously they couldn't pay off the old home, or they thought it was like, hey, we don't have enough money to keep this going in this office, so we have to go to the warehouse. They're in some financial strain. If people want to deny that, then they can go ahead and deny it, but
Yeah.
that pretty much just shows that there's some financial problems going on.
What about you, Connor?
I mean,
Okay,
I mean, it's obvious, and I'm not. Is it a positive move? It's probably for them in the long run right now, but I'm sure everybody under the sun's gonna poke fun of it, and I don't blame them for it. Because no matter what way, like you said, no matter what way you slice this is just it looks like a bad sign, and there's been things that they've done from a business perspective that make it look like a bad sign, and so if it's obviously a cost cutting measure, obviously, but no matter what way you slice it, it's just another one of those like yikes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm amazed how there's a lot of the TNA defenders. Now, when I mean defenders, I don't mean the whole 100%, because there's a 15% that get it, that understand the situation, what have you. But the rest, the 85% of them, is like, oh my God, you don't see the big picture here. This is a good thing. What's wrong with you? Why I hate on this? I'm amazed how there's a lot of people that are defending this shit. I'm amazed. It's crazy. Like, I don't know in what realm do we live in. I don't know what's in their coffee. The steak they ordered with the temperature they wanted. I don't know, but what the fuck?
I'll give them credit for staying loyal.
I give them credit.
They're like dumb loyalty, Connor. It's not like
no, I know.
It's just that they like to think that they're like the underground and stuff like that. Like, you're not the underground. You guys are just idiots.
How are you the underground? You've been around for 12 plus fucking years.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean we just talking the term underground, or are we talking like physically?
How are they the underground? Oh, they're the new thing. No, they've been around for over 12 plus years. They've been around longer than WCW. They've been around longer than ECW. And you know what?
It's true.
There are people that have been saying, oh, ECW ran their promotion in a rinky-dink location too, but how come the IWC don't hit on that? I mean, it's a difference though. The difference is that
there's a huge difference, and you know what the difference is? Honestly, it's time.
Yeah, time.
One of the big problems, I'm sorry to cut you off, Stephen. One of the big problems a lot of that I've noticed as far as people comparing things to the past, and I'm just as guilty of this too, is that we glorify the past as if everything about the past was perfect. And I'm not just talking ECW, WCW, or even the Attitude Era. We glorify the things that happened in the wrestling past because that's what we want to remember. We always just want to remember the good stuff. Folks, I hate to break it to you, there are aspects of all three of those major organizations, no matter what side you're on, even the Attitude Era, that were absolute, complete, and utter fucking garbage.
If the internet was around during the Attitude Era wouldn't even be great.
Anybody remember?
Anyone about Austin, Rocks 2 PG, and stuff like that? They would.
Anybody remember Naked Midian? I rest my case. The point, it's just that the reason that the wrestling fans aren't hating on ECW as much as TNA is because they're in the now and in the present in the moment. I guarantee you, if TNA closed its doors, let's say at the end of this year, right? Just throwing this out there. If TNA closed its doors at this year, sure, people are going to make jokes. I mean, because they've cracked jokes about ECW going out of business. They still crack jokes about WCW going out of business. But there's still going to be a bunch of wrestling fans who are going to be like, wow, man, this was really good at this time frame. Because there was. But people aren't focusing on that because they're focusing on the current aspect. I can't blame them for that, and I don't blame them for that. Because, things are current, and the wrestling business is so fast-paced and just so quick that things can turn just like that on a drop of a dime. But, we go from one pay-per-view to the next in literally less than 30 days. Hello. So, but that's, I think, the reason why I think when people compare to the past and in this contrast, it's because time's not on their side. People are only focusing on what's going on currently versus either what could be or what was in the past because we haven't reached that point yet.
Well, I also think why people don't really shit on ECW being in a warehouse compared to TNA being in a warehouse is because ECW actually knew who they were and what they were, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
TNA doesn't know. TNA doesn't know what they are. Like TNA is supposed to try to be like our number 2 in America. They don't even feel like a number 2. It feels like there's a promotion before TNA, but you don't know what that promotion is and stuff like that because there really isn't a legit number 2 against the WWE. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, NXT." Well, that's WWE. I'm talking about versus the whole WWE machine. Right. So it's just like.
It's not Lucha Underground, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lucha Underground. But it's part of AAA. That's a Mexican organization. I'm talking about America. But what I'm trying to say is just like, ECW knew what it was. It was a rinky type of show. They always went to standing room only shows and stuff like that. TNA tried to sell out arenas.
Chase, you're cutting off a little bit.
Well, because you're echoing a little bit. How about that?
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I think Connor could have heard just fine. But, like I was saying, it's just that TNA just don't know who they are. So that's why a lot of people shit this because it's like, hey, you used to be, this number 2, legit number 2. And don't get me wrong, I like TNA. Like 05 through 07 were great years. But it's just like, there's just so many bad. And there's just so many that haven't gone TNA's way that you just tend to like sometimes just don't want to care and just give up on them.
And here's the thing about it too, like there's people I heard say, "Oh, it shouldn't matter." Chase, I think you know where I'm going with this. I don't know if you saw, but whatever. We shouldn't care. All we should care for is the wrestling, what have you. And listen, end of the day, TNA for all we want, for all intents and purposes, they could have great matches all you want. You know what I mean? That's great. But what good will that do if the behind the scene, the people running the ship, are pretty much dragging their shit to the ground? What good is it? What good does it make? It doesn't matter if Pop TV are happy with the number that they bring in, even if you do math and you add the numbers in, but you can't do no more. What good does it do to you if the people running the ship is bringing your shit to the ground? Like, put it this way, right? Put it this way. Dixie Carter, TNA, the people running the ship, right? They went from losing their top stars, the AJ Styles, the Austin Aries, the Samoa Joes, the Bobby Roodes, the Eric Youngs of the world, right? Their top names, if you will. They went from that to losing their 2 network deals back to back. And now they lose their headquarters, their main building. And I always say this, and I'm going to go with this. Damn, Dixie.
Or at least you didn't say it the same tone.
damn Dixie. Which, by the way, if you go over to my Spreadshirt Store now,
Oh, Jesus.
there's a shirt up on my store called the Damn
Doesn't even
Dixie
look like
shirt.
this part.
I know, I couldn't, fuck it. At this point, I didn't give a shit. But there you go. There's a new shirt up on my store. Go to heelsteven.spreadshirt.com. Go get yourself the Damn Dixie shirt. Go up to 5X and we ship all over the world.
They do the same for Pro Wrestling Tees, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
I know. Pro Wrestling Tees is the shit. Is the shit. But it sucks though. It sucks what's going on. I hope that they bust a miracle. No pun intended. And I'll be real with you. Whenever people talk about TNA, I tell them, listen, if you really want to get into TNA, just tune in to EC3, Michael Bennett, and Eddie Edwards. That's it. Then turn off the TV.
I will go on stand.
Match last night. That was terrible between EC3 and Bennett. That was awful.
I know, but still,
It was a setup.
It was a setup.
But it was all like it was so stupid. Like they do a suplex onto the outside, and then Bennett no sells that into a double A spine buster, and then like, it was just, everything about that match just smelled train wreck to me. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
So to kick back off what I'm trying to remember because there's a point I was going to bring up that Chase said earlier, and it was something that I was agreeing with, and I can't remember for the life of me. But
CW knew who they were.
yeah, okay, yeah, that was the other thing. So yeah, that's one of the things I think TNA has that I'm not sure of is that I don't think they know what their direction is, because I know that at one point their direction was to be like the number, they wanted to compete with WWE, which at this point, and it's not just TNA, it's in general, it's a foolish thing to think that anyone could compete with WWE on their level because they're just a powerhouse in and of itself. I know. I went to the AT&T Stadium where there's 100,000 people. There's no other wrestling promotion that's ever going to pull that off. I'm sorry.
Or they boo the shit out of Roman, but that's another day.
But ECW knew what they were, and they started from, and they kept their identity the same too. That was the other key difference. TNA, I feel like they aren't 100% sure what direction they want to go, and there's no real, definity and definition for the actual promotion itself as far as what it is. There's no identity. There's no face to the brand anymore. They had it.
They had it. Yeah, they did.
It's gone.
And and not only that, but like we said with ECW, even ECW on their final days, there was a demand for it by the people. Are there people out there now that demand for TNA, that want TNA? Like, oh my god, put it this way, it's like this, right? There's not people out there saying, oh, the world's over if I miss an episode of Impact. Oh my god, it's crazy if I miss an episode. No, you don't hear that shit. You don't. And end of the day, it's sad. Like, I feel bad more for the talent, James Storm is a perfect example. Eddie Edwards, Mike Bennett, EC3s, who I think do more than what's asked and shit, and look what the fuck is going on. And again, there's still gonna be people out there that are gonna say, oh, this is still a good move, what are you talking about? Wake up and smell the fucking coffee.